We want to help each other in times of crisis. This idea is nothing new. For centuries, our ancestors have worked together to help one another whenever a crisis struck their village. This collaboration brought their communities together. Over time, these communities have expanded to become a global village of over 7 billion people. When we hear about a massive earthquake or typhoon hitting another part of the world, we still want to help. But how? Crisis mapper Patrick Meyer has found a way you can help without even leaving your home. Meyer has created a network of digital humanitarians who produce crisis maps that measure the scale of a disaster and provide the most up-to-date information for what is needed on the ground. They do it through crowdsourcing or transmitting information using online resources and social media. People in the affected area upload messages and photos that show evidence of disasters immediately after they occur. These updates generate an enormous amount of data, which is sorted by digital humanitarians and then posted to the crisis map. People working online and on the ground process the information and use it to understand the big picture. Rescuers use these updates to monitor the levels of destruction and coordinate relief for difficult situations. So now when disaster strikes, help can come from anywhere on Earth.
Patrick Meyer uses crisis maps and social media to organize information and give the big picture on what's happening at a disaster site. However, scientists are using other forms of technology to collect data, to generate solutions, and to help people in need. Some scientists are developing microbots to explore where humans cannot easily go, such as outer space or inside the human body. Microbots are simple machines, but when released in large amounts, they can accomplish a lot. If sent into a disaster area, scientists could monitor their movements and measure their progress while they search for evidence of life. If one microbot gets lost, the mission could still continue.
In times of a disaster, collaboration between people on the ground and online is very important. People can exchange information to provide online updates, which can be sent to rescuers. With this information, rescue workers can better understand the situation and coordinate to provide quick and effective relief to the victims. Predictions. Every year, the world's population is growing, and it seems we are experiencing bigger and more dangerous natural disasters. Some are the result of climate change. Others, like earthquakes and volcanoes, are happening simply because it's part of their natural cycle. This timeline shows some predictions that scientists have made for the future. By 2020, an 8.5 magnitude earthquake will have hit South America. In 2030, the world population will reach around 8.3 billion people. But thanks to new technologies, food supply will be up, and world hunger levels will be going down. By 2050, many regions in the world will have been flooded because of rising sea levels. Toward the end of the century, a massive asteroid will be entering the Earth's orbit. Will these predictions become reality? And are we prepared if they do? Focus on the future. Kelvin Doe, also known as DJ Focus, is creating a future he wants to live in. Imagine growing up in a place where the electricity is shut off more than it is turned on. Could you do anything to help your community? At 11 years old, Kelvin Doe saw the lack of power in his country, Sierra Leone, as a problem. Kelvin was committed to solving this problem, so he became an inventor. Kelvin was forced to be creative in his inventions. He could not afford to buy supplies, so he collected broken electronic parts from the trash and taught himself how to engineer new devices. By age 13, Kelvin was creating his own batteries by combining acid, soda, and metal in tin cups His simple invention gave light to a community often left in the dark, and it also led to other innovations. At 14, Kelvin made his own FM radio transmitter and created his community's first local radio station. "If we have a radio station," he said, "the people can debate issues affecting our community and Sierra Leone as a whole." Kelvin, who took the name DJ Focus, quickly developed a group of loyal listeners. Kelvin's hard work paid off. The national television station in Sierra Leone heard about his inventions and invited him to do a live demonstration on air. Shortly afterward, he was invited to visit the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT, to learn more about creative engineering. That visit was arranged by MIT doctoral student David Senga. Like Kelvin, David grew up in Sierra Leone. He is a researcher at the MIT Media Lab and founder of the organization Global Minimum Incorporated. Through this organization, he aims to empower high school students in Sierra Leone by encouraging innovation. David wants more young Sierra Leoneans to be like Kelvin, to look at the problems their communities face and find ways to solve them so that their generation will have a better future. Kelvin spent 3 weeks in the United States, learning from David and other researchers at MIT. At the end of the trip, he was ready to go home and get back to work. "Whatever I've learned here," said Kelvin, "I will share it with my friends, colleagues, and loved ones, and do it as a team." In times of crisis, who can you turn to? Crisis Crusher is always there to help. But when Crisis Crusher is in trouble, who can he turn to?
An earthquake hit Nepal today. Many people are still trapped where rescue teams are unable to reach them.
I must save them.
When Crisis Crusher arrives in Kathmandu, he starts lifting crumbling buildings to free those who are trapped. But he still hears cries for help in the distance.
How will I reach everyone in time? How will I know where they are?
Meanwhile, in Tokyo, a girl begins receiving tweets from people in Nepal. She collects their locations and shares the information.
Time to start mapping.
When Crisis Mapper MC receives the information, he starts creating a crisis map.
Here you go, Crisis Crusher. Your next rescue.
With the latest updates, Crisis Crusher is ready to rescue.